People want to be perceived favorably by other group members. People's publicly stated views are sometimes a function of how they want to present themselves. Once they hear what others believe, some group members will adjust their position at least slightly in the direction of the dominant position to preserve their preferred self-presentation. Humans became the most dominant species on planet Earth thousands of years ago. How did this happen? We aren't the biggest, strongest, or fastest animal out there. We became the dominant species because of the way we formed groups along with our intellectual powers. Being the most dominant social animal, humans have made groups for thousands of years. Dating back to the early hunter-gatherers, all people had was their tribe. In those, you had to depend on your tribe to help you survive. Groups are hardwired into our nature. Group polarization. The tendency for members of a group discussing an issue to move toward a more extreme version of the positions they held before the discussion began. As a result, the group as a whole tends to respond in more extreme ways than one would expect given the sentiments of the individual members prior to deliberation. Now that you have heard the textbook definition of group polarization, it needs to be differentiated from groupthink. Groupthink is the practice of thinking or making decisions as a group in a way that discourages creativity or individual responsibility. So polarization is more about how the groups take more extreme views, while groupthink is the specific decisions they make. They both certainly go hand in hand and can both happen at the same time. There are three main reasons for why group polarization takes place. First, normative influence is when we change our behavior in order to look socially acceptable or to fit in with the group. Like I mentioned before, we are hardwired to belong to groups, and sometimes in order to fit in, we have to change our own behavior. So if someone joins a group, they may adopt more extreme views than if they were left on their own. Second, informative influence. This concept states that people tend to enter a discussion with favorable information for both sides of the argument, and then change their opinion favoring that side which provides more information in its arguments. This mainly occurs when an individual is unsure about how he or she believes, and that person will tend to follow whichever viewpoint has the most information supporting it. Third, confidence level. We can be extremely self-confident sometimes, believing in our own views, right or wrong. But this has more of an influence on the people that lack the confidence over a certain subject. They are more susceptible to influence because they aren't sure if what they believe in is right. More confident people can provide the person with a good sounding argument in order to sway their opinion. Let's look at one real life example. Joe Biden versus Donald Trump in the 2020 presidential election. For non-election years, most people seem to stay dormant about their political views. They don't see the importance of blowing up their social media when there isn't an opportunity to change the person in office. But when election year rolls around, the campaigns are starting up, people start to choose sides and become more extreme about it. News stations on both sides seem to come up with more outrageous stories about the other candidate. Friends and family on social media start posting their opinions and debating on Facebook in hopes of chance to prove something to someone else. The closer to an election, the more group polarization we can observe, as each presidential candidate holds large gatherings to sway more people into extreme views than what they would previously believed. Let's look at another real-life example. For the past year and a half, our world has been facing a pandemic. It has been such hard times for everyone because it came out of nowhere. Everyone seemed shocked and was looking for the best ways to protect themselves from the sickness. Before vaccines were made available, the best way to stop infection was through masks. But for everyone that did use them and believed in them, there was also another side that opposed them. As the months went on, we could see both sides becoming more extreme. Both sides began to debate harshly against the other. Each side had their views more rigid than a few months prior. This is group polarization. For the people that watch the news and like to express their opinions, they get caught up in this. There are more people in the middle, but we only get to hear the extreme viewpoints. Thank you so much for watching this far into the video. I appreciate each and every one of you that clicked to watch this video. Make sure you leave a like on this video and subscribe for more videos. Also, check us out on Instagram at everyday.psychology_. Be sure to tune into our next video, The Truth About Self-Help Books.